Okay, your next basic tool that you really want to know with Photoshop is when you're over here on your left, and let's say you do a selection as you've already practiced with, hopefully, or you've thought about. Let's say you choose using your lasso selection tool. Let's say you choose that you want to select my eyeball for some reason. Now you have choices of what you can do here. For instance, you can select a different area, you can adjust things, you can do kind of all sorts of different things. Over on the three dots here also, you have a lot of different options that you can utilize here. So you can load it as a selection, you can duplicate the layer, you can add a clipped adjustment, you can do all sorts of things. But what we really want to think about doing here is we want to copy that and put it on a new layer. So I'm going to have my new layer here, and I need to copy, and here I can now paste it. And you'll notice now I have this singular layer that is above all the other layers, and it is a big eyeball. Now you might say to yourself, well, why aren't I seeing a huge eyeball? And the reason for that is it's not the same size as the layers below it. It's kind of like relatively sized. And because of that, what you want to think about is that this layer is simply an eyeball layer. And I could even look at it just as a certain layer by basically going to this little layer drop down up at the top here, and by clicking off these eyeballs. Okay. And by clicking off those, it hides the layers. I didn't delete them or anything, it just hides them. And then what I can think about is, do I want to shift this? Do I want to adjust this? How do I want to do anything with this? And so I could make this bigger if I wanted to. I could flip it upside down if I wanted to. So I can kind of do a whole bunch of stuff with it here. I can warp it if I want to. So, and again, I can adjust the color, I can do all that stuff. And my layers are still here. If I show you them here, now you can really see where that layer is. And on my layers, I can still just move this, right? So I can actually make that still bigger and smaller. I can still adjust that. So I can put that here. And I can just also do certain things to this layer because I know that I only am working on this one layer. I'm going to invert that, and then I'm going to delete it, erase it. There we go. And notice now that's a little bit better shaped. I could try to select it even closer. And because again, it's only on this layer, it's much more specific. So I can get really close in here and kind of go like, I just want this. I'm going to invert that, erase it, deselect, and there we go. And now we're starting to get this like eyeball here right in the middle, and I can again resize that with my transform tool, make it bigger or smaller, and you'll notice there's some bleeding kind of around it that I would want to fix. But by having these multiple layers and by utilizing that cut and paste tool, you're able to kind of again manipulate these kind of how you want. So again, if we wanted to go to, let's just move this down. If we want to go to this main layer here, and again, select something. So if I want to select the eyeballs here, then I can go down to the three dots, say copy layer, and then I can go to the three dots and say paste, and it pastes it as this new layer up here. And if we go to our hidden layers, I can see that I have just those eyeballs. Now that, again, that's going to be really helpful when you're looking to merge the different parts of a person or an individual as you're going to be practicing with Dr. Exley and me.